In a council-manager form of government, the city council is the governing body elected by the citizens. The council hires a city manager to serve as the chief executive of the city government. The city manager advises the council on their decisions but has no formal authority to vote on laws enacted by the council. Once laws or other decisions are made, the city manager is ultimately responsible for carrying out the council's wishes. As local legislators, council members are responsible for and responsive to the citizens who elected them. Depending on the city's charters and state laws, they may perform the following functions: review and approve the annual budget, plan for the future of the city, establish long and short-term objectives and priorities, oversee performance of city manager, oversee effectiveness of programs, establish tax rates, enter into legal contracts, borrow funds, pass ordinances and resolutions, modify the city's charter, regulate land use through zoning laws, regulate business activity through licensing and regulations, regulate public health and safety, communicate policies and programs to residents, respond to constituent needs and complaints, and lastly, represent the community to other levels of government.
Hi, my name is Matthew Johnson. I have the privilege of interviewing the candidates for the November 2020 election. I'm here with Dale Harmon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I believe you prepared a statement.
I have something to say. I don't necessarily say I prepared a statement, but I introduced myself. So,
Yes.
my name is Dale Harmon. I have lived in Galesburg here for 35 years now. I'm retired Air Force. I spent 30 years in the Air Force, all of it doing logistics. I attended school at Western Michigan University. I was an accounting major with a minor in finance. I retired from the Air Force in 2005 at the rank of Chief Master Sergeant, which is the highest enlisted rank you can achieve. After that, in 2005, I started working at the Defense Logistics Agency in Battle Creek, Michigan, another Department of Defense agency. So I have worked for the federal government for 45 years now. My plan is to retire early next summer, and hopefully, if I'm elected, spend some time devoted to the city council and making improvements in the city of Galesburg.
All right, well, first, I'd like to thank you for what you've done for this country, first of all.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right. Well, in your opinion, when you, if you are elected to city council, what are the top three things you'd like to address in 2021 and then moving forward?
The top three things I see, and I've said this even with the federal government right now, you need to have transparency in your city government. You need to let the citizens know what's going on and how it's going to affect them. Along those lines, you also need to have accountability. I think the current council has made tremendous strides in those two areas as far as accountability and visibility for what's going on in the city. So I give them a lot of credit. Unfortunately, 3 of them are up on their term limits and have decided not to rerun. So I wanted to help carry on what they've already established. I would also like to see additional businesses coming in. Again, the current council, we got the Richland Distillery in, we got Valentina's downtown, the front porch has come in, but we still have some vacant buildings downtown that I'd like to see occupied with viable businesses and everything. I think having the bicycle trail that's coming through town right now will certainly help that to get more people into town and see just exactly what kind of community Galesburg is. And again, I give credit to the current mayor and the council that's been on board for the last 2 years in bringing Galesburg back to where it is once again a place where people want to go and visit.
So why do those things mean so much to you? Why did you want to highlight those things when?
In my Air Force career, I tried to live by the Air Force core values, which are integrity, duty before self, and excellence in all you do. And I've tried to bring that into every portion of my life. I think by getting visibility and accountability into the city government, you get more buy-in from the citizens and more support to the council for what they're doing and their plan going forward.
So if you were to be elected, how would you want to help council achieve these goals, and how would you personally try to achieve these goals with the citizens of Galesburg?
I would certainly make myself available to everybody by providing my cell phone number as well as my home phone number, my email. Again, being retired, I'd have more time to get around to the community and the citizens, to talk with them. I think it's great, some of the events they have here in Galesburg in coordination with the Downtown Development or Downtown Merchants Association. And just have the doors to communication open, and by giving them the means to actually talk to the council and encourage them to come to the meetings and address the council directly.
Could you please describe how you would work and cooperate with other city governments? City of Galesburg is a fairly smaller city compared to a lot of the neighboring cities, but how would you work with the neighboring cities?
That's an interesting question, because I'm not really sure what options are available, okay, as far as what they can offer us, as far as what we can offer them. I certainly am in favor of reaching out to them and getting information. Also working with the city manager to see what's available from the state government as well as the federal government as far as grants or money that might be available to help improve the streets, to help improve the traffic areas, to help improve just the general public areas within the city.
You bring up the city manager, the City of Galesburg has had Gabe Barricker as the city manager, but he will be leaving and there will be a new one this coming November. What do you feel like the relationship between city council and the city manager should be? How do you feel like that relationship should be nurtured, and how would you address that in your term?
Okay, reality check here with the city council. Granted, you are on the city council 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but as far as actually attending meetings and everything else, it's once a month. And the same thing with the mayor. It's a time-consuming job, okay, being mayor and council. So I guarantee you nobody's running for council for the money, okay? I think hiring the city manager was the right thing to do to manage the city so that the citizens have a point of contact if they have complaints, if they have a problem, or if they want an answer to a question. That being said, I've supervised people pretty much my whole career in the Air Force. I don't supervise anybody now, but you have to allow people to do their job. And I've always felt, as a supervisor and as a city council, give them the tools to do the job and then allow them to do the job. Now, I'm not saying they should have unlimited power, but they are the CEO of the city and they are the city manager. They should work in coordination with the council to let the council, again, going back to that accountability and transparency, let the council know what's going on and what you are doing, but at the same time, you have to give them the tools and the authority to make decisions on behalf of the city.
You bring up transparency. You brought it up as one of your most important things. Obviously, with this pandemic, a lot of things have changed, but do you feel pre-pandemic that the city was as transparent as you'd like it to be? And then in 2021 and moving forward with your term, if you were to be elected, how would you further that transparency?
I think what the city is doing right now, because of this COVID, with the broadcasting, doing the virtual broadcast on the city things with the city council, and then having them available to review on YouTube and everything, is a tremendous tool using today's technology to let people know what's going on. I mean, there are probably households without internet, but you'd probably be hard-pressed to find places that didn't have computers and internet accessibility. You also, with the city clerk, updating the Galesburg webpage with information, the meeting minutes and things like that. I think they're doing a tremendous job of getting information out as far as a start to that transparency, and I'd just like to see it continue. And again, with the technology that's available today, you could probably even expand it a little bit.
So, you said that you'd be personally available through phone, through email. Do you live in Galesburg, or?
I do live in Galesburg.
Would you be willing to receive mail or potentially have meetings set up with the citizens to talk about the issues that they're concerned about?
I've noticed, and again, hopefully I can retire early next summer. It seems every morning down there at the coffee club, it's a local coffee shop, you can call it the watering hole or the meeting place here in town, there seems to be a group of citizens that meet there every morning and have coffee and everything. And trust me, I am a morning person and I love to drink coffee. I have envisioned myself going down there and sitting down with them and just make myself available, let them know who I am, why I'm there, and I'm there to represent them and hear what their concerns are or what their good things that they have to say about the city of Galesburg, or if they think we're going in the right direction or if we need to make an adjustment.
Sounds like you have a pretty good idea of what you want to do locally to learn about the issues and the goings-ons of the city. How about through the state and federally? How do you receive your news in terms of what is being done, what's being mandated, and how would you incorporate that, be it positively or negatively, into the city?
I don't want to come across like I spend all day on the internet, but I am always on the news sites on the internet, and I don't want to say which ones because I don't want to be labeled liberal or conservative or anything else. But I pride myself on keeping up on world events, on what's going on, not only in our country as well as the world, both through the media on television as well as on the internet. I don't subscribe to any newspapers. Now, when I will say this, when I was going into the office and we have been isolated from COVID-19 since March, I used to stop and get a newspaper every day to read at my lunchtime and everything else. So I like to think I'm pretty well up on what's going on, both with the country as well as what's going on in the world, as well as what's going on here in our state and our county.
How would you help the citizens of Galesburg, along with you, get more educated in what's going on, be it locally or with their state?
I used to have a commander during my Air Force that says you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. Okay, again, by making myself available, by making the council's actions and everything transparent and having accountability, I would hope that more citizens would not necessarily have to want to get involved, but at least not be afraid to step forward and say, hey, I like this, I don't like this, or here's a concern, or this is what I would like to see. I think every elected official, whether it's myself or any of the other fine candidates that are running, you're there representing what's best for the city of Galesburg, okay? Not just the one or two, okay? And I know, I used to go to the meetings all the time, and I did notice that it seemed to be one or two citizens that had concerns, and not to minimize their concerns, but I always felt that they were kind of outside the realm of what the general public was saying. And I just, I just want them to understand that I'm there making decisions based on what I feel is best for the city of Galesburg, based on their input to me if they have a valid concern about what is going on or whatever the issue might be.
One of those issues you talked about was bringing more work into Galesburg. How would you try to incorporate that during your term?
As far as getting more work into Galesburg, I think as like I said before, for what this council has done for the last 2 years, I sense more of a pride in Galesburg. The town is definitely cleaned up. They had an ordinance officer for a while, and I understand that they just hired another one. They're cleaning up some of the blight. The revised group's done a tremendous job of taking care of some old abandoned buildings and cleaning it up. And I think people are starting to notice Galesburg more. And that's why I firmly believe in the last couple of years that we've seen these new businesses come in. And granted, there's been a couple other businesses that approached, and I'll use the medical marijuana as an example, that the citizens were against. But at the same time, at least you had a business interested in coming this area. And we got a new, I think it's a Circle K, even though I think it is outside the city limits, is still going to bring people and tax dollars into the community. Okay, so again, I think there seems to be a little more pride in Galesburg, and I think all that, by making the city more attractive, will also make it more attractive to businesses that want to come in here or are even thinking about coming in here.
All right, lastly, is there anything that you'd like to address or that you'd like anyone to know?
The only thing, and I thought about this, the only thing I'd like to address, 35 years ago, when I was looking for my first home, I had a choice. I could choose Richland, I could choose Comstock, I could choose Climax, I could choose Augusta. I chose Galesburg because I like the small town feel, But I also saw a city that was trying to move forward as opposed to trying to sit back and rest on its laurels and stay that way. It still has a small town feel. Galesburg has a lot going for it. But I chose to live here. Okay, granted, I wasn't born here. I haven't lived here my whole life. I came from a little town south of here called Sturgis. But of all my options, all my choices I had, I chose Galesburg. And I just want to be a part of Galesburg's future moving forward.
Thank you so much, Dale.
Thank you.